Find a solution to your problems. Don't depend on other people to change you. Don't depend on other people to evolve you. Being different, as I've always said, is nothing wrong with being different. Stand out in the crowd. Don't be like everybody else. Don't feel that you got to belong to a group of people for people to respect you. If you don't like where you are, then you must change what you do. But not just change, start evolving. Evolve into something that's unique. Become something great. Believe in yourself. And understand that it takes work. And it takes an idea. And you have to understand that there's going to be some sacrifices that you must make. So when are you going to make a change? When are you going to finally realize that it's up to you? What you need to be focusing on is a better life, a better understanding, a better you. And if you're not willing to work on that, if you're not willing to change that, then how strong do you really think you will be in the rest of the life that you've been given? Just like the seasons, there are 4 of them: fall, winter, spring, and summer. They're always changing, and they have a purpose connected to it. But you as an individual, do you have that idea of changing the way you think? Do you have the ability to change your life? Look around you. Pay attention to the circumstances that we're in. It's more about sorrow than happiness. People only want to find a way to make more excuses than trying to make a change in their lives. Like I said, like the seasons, they're always changing. And they're going to continue to do exactly what they do. You know, when the winter comes, it's going to be cold. When the fall comes, it's going to be crisp. When the spring comes, it's going to be, oh, it's chilly, but it's not too warm. And boy, when that summer comes, it's really hot. But it goes right back to doing exactly what it's been doing. But you, my friend, you got to do some things that's a little bit different, a little bit special, a little bit more unique, a little bit different. And stop feeling sorry for yourself. You got everything you need inside of you right now. Continue to make the most of your life and hold on to it with everything you got, because it belongs to you. The time is now. Make the most of your life. Be productive in your life. Stand strong in your life.
I used to tell my guys all the time, I said, man, it's a big difference between somebody that works hard and a hard worker. I said, if you're somebody that works hard, you get what you want. You might be great. I said, you somebody that works hard, if Corona don't show up, like you might kill it, you might crush it. If you're somebody that works hard, if they tell you what you want to hear and give you a certain level of validation, like you might operate in excellence if you're somebody that works hard. I said, but brother, a hard worker, you can take it to the bank. I said, regardless of the situation, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the challenge, they're wired a certain way and they show up and operate a certain way because they're being driven by something totally different. They got a certain level of integrity and character that's attached to their work level. Got a certain level of, I got to do this because it's depending upon the people that saw something in me and invested in me when I couldn't see it in myself. And so I got to hold true to that. Like they got a certain level of staying power. Right? And so I got an injury September 9th, 2006, right? And I was telling people it hit me not in terms of the specifics of the situation because I would never compare it to Corona. But the way it showed up in my life, it showed up very similar to the pandemic, right? The way it showed up, right? The way my life changed, the way one day I was on top of the world and I woke up the next day and the world was on top of me and my life changed forever and it never went back to being the same.
I'm not the best at anything. I'm not gifted. I'm just driven. I'm a guy that came from nothing. Anybody's capable of doing shit like this. Anybody. And I sat in that tub. She put the water on me. She called my mom up. And my mom was dating a doctor at the time. The doctor said, you need to get him to a hospital now. She came back in. All I wanted to do was call Chris Costner on the phone, the race director of Badwater, and say I can get it. So she said, I'm taking you to the doctor. I said, no, let me sit here and enjoy this pain. She said, what are you talking about? I said, I need to go to the doctor. I realized that. But I never thought it was humanly possible to do what I did. I went 70 miles. And at 70 miles, I was dead. I was at 100%. What I thought was 100%. I went 31 more miles after being in the worst physical shape I've ever been in my life. As I sat in that tub and the waters hit me, and it was the most amazing feeling of accomplishment.
Right? I love football, man. Like, I loved everything about it, right? I never played a hard day of football in my life. It was recreation to me, right? Like, I would walk out on the field, guys would be like, you see that girl on the third row? I'm like, bro, I love the way the grass smells. Like, cut the grass. Like, I love the way the grass smells, right? I love the spray paint they put on the field, right? I love to be able to compete, right? Because I started playing in the streets, light pole to light pole, tackle football. And so once I got on the grass, I was like, it's gravy train, right? I was battle tested already. But I started playing when I was 7 years old, and my mother had me at 16 years old in Southeast Atlanta, and she took me back to 125 Warren. And at 125 Warren, it was a 2-bedroom home. There was 14 of us living there. And I slept on pallets every single day from the time I was a kid until the time I went to college.
I did this. And as crazy as it sounds, it was the most amazing moment of my entire life. To come from this kid who was mentally torturing himself and was tortured, it's all to this guy now, who was able to overcome such amazing odds and obstacles. And I called Chris Cosmo, the race director of Badwater, and he said, the idea of a 24-hour race is to run .24 hours. You only ran 19. And he put doubt in my mind that he would let me in the Badwater. 2 weeks later, roughly, December 5th, was this marathon that we all signed up for. I couldn't walk. I could not walk. I ran 100 miles before I ran a marathon. 10 days or 2 weeks after this 100 mile in one race I did, this marathon, December 5th in Las Vegas. That gun went off 2005. 14 days after, I broke myself off and I qualified for the Boston Marathon. I ran 3:08.